Checking in with Brian Hoops from Midwest Market Solutions here on these markets right now. And Brian, we are seeing the soybeans leading the way upward here. What's the effect here pushing the needle upward here on the soybeans today?
Yeah, we're seeing a nice little bounce in the beans, and I think it comes from a couple different reasons. One, of course, is going to be the weather and the forecast here turning much hotter through next weekend, through that 4th of July weekend, especially in the eastern belt. Now, they have had a lot of moisture. They should be able to work through that no problem. It'll almost create like a greenhouse effect. But the western areas and central Midwest, where maybe they haven't had rain, such as some parts of Nebraska, Kansas, northwest Iowa, it's going to be the hottest temperatures of the summer, really not able to withstand a lot more heat, and could curtail yield significantly for both corn and for soybeans. So I think the market's caught itself a little bit oversold, needs to have a little bit of premium put back into values because of this hotter and drier weather forecast. We're holding mostly, for the most part, technical support in both corn and the soybeans. And we're going into option expiration on Friday, delivery period on Monday. That usually creates some volatility. Then, of course, that quarterly stocks and acreage report coming out on Tuesday morning. And I think a lot of the focus will be on how many acres are being seeded for both corn and soybeans this spring. To me, looking at the estimates, soybeans expected to be an increase from from the March estimate, with corn being lower, wheat acres being virtually unchanged. And I looked at some of the surveys real closely, and there's 31 firms that have been identified as posting their estimates ahead of this report, and 27 of the 31 have soybean acres increasing. So if you are wanting to take the contrarian view, you'd be anticipating soybean acres actually decreasing instead of increasing in that report on Tuesday.
Over into livestock markets here, we're seeing the cattle were up a little bit higher as the day went. We're kind of backing off those highs a little bit, still in the green here, looks like, in the cattle market for now.
Yeah, for now, anyway. We're looking for that elusive cash cattle trade. It was very scarce last week, and market's kind of biding its time, anticipating cash is going to be firmer this week, although we haven't really seen any bids or anything coming out. The online auction that was held yesterday, the bids were only $255, and they did have some trade $259 last week. The asking prices were $260. There was some trade in the north at that $260 and $408 on a dress basis. So that's where the market anticipates we're going to see cash trade. That's why we're seeing some strength in the June futures. But so far, nothing has transpired, and that's kind of kept a lid on any real rally attempts in this cattle market.
What do you expect to see in that report, the quarterly report coming out this afternoon, Brian? You expecting anything wild to see in that thing?
Nothing really jumps out at us. The hog and pig report, I think there's a cold storage as well, but nobody's talking about it. But the hog and pig report, the all hogs and pigs just less than 1% above last year numbers kept for breeding, less than 1% below year ago numbers. So just very little variance as expected. These numbers are actually very similar to what we saw back in March, and we didn't have much of a movement at that point in time when those numbers came out. I don't think we're going to today either when these numbers are released. It's unlikely anyway that we'll see much in the way of a significant move in the market.